Your Grace, I am yours to command.
Rise, Sir Barristan.
You may remove your helm. You have served the realm long and faithfully. Every man and woman in the Seven Kingdoms owes you thanks. But it is time to put aside your armor and your sword. It is time to rest and look back with pride on your many years of service.
Your Grace, the Kingsguard is a sworn brotherhood. Our vows are taken for life. Only death relieves us of our sacred trust.
Whose death? Sir Barristan, yours or your king's?
You let my father die. You're too old to protect anybody.
Give the order, and we'll clear out this rabble.
You mean kill them? Here at the Sept?
You'd be sending them to meet the gods that they love.
Oh, look at these two shining warriors. Sir Tarin Mant and Sir Whosit of Whocares.
Sir Meryn Trant.
Sir Bronn of the Blackwater.
You're no knight.
Pod?
Sir Bronn of the Blackwater was anointed by the king himself.
You're an up-jumped cutthroat. Nothing more.
That's exactly who I am. And you're a grub in fancy armor who's better at beating little girls than fighting men. Now, I have an appointment with Lord Tyrion.
You put your hand on that door, you lose the hand.
I am a knight. I shall die a knight.
A naked knight, apparently.
Even now I could cut through the five of you like carving a cake. Here, boy. Melt it down and add it to the others.
Boris will be stationed here. Sir Preston will be stationed here beside the primary entertainment. Your Grace?
Yes, one guard at the thing.
Sir Meryn will guard Lady Marjorie and Tommen.
I've always guarded the king himself, my lord. Ever since your absence.
And I thank you for it, sir.
Oh, very good. I don't expect any trouble.
The people love their king. They know who keeps them fed.
Marjorie Tyrell, I'd heard.
By my leave. They know I saved the city. They know I won the war.
The war's not won. Not while Stannis lives.
I broke Stannis on the Blackwater. Pity you weren't there to help, Uncle.
My apologies, Your Grace. I was rather busy.
Busy getting captured. So this is the famous Book of Brothers. All the great deeds of all the great Kingsguard, huh? It's Arthur Dayne. The sword of the morning.
And now it begins.
Led the attack on the Kingswood Brotherhood. Defeated the Smiling Knight in single combat. Sir Duncan the Tall. 4 pages for Sir Duncan. He must have been quite a man.
So they say.
Sir Jaime Lannister. Someone forgot to write down all your great deeds.
There's still time.
Is there? For a 40-year-old knight with one hand? How can you protect me with that?
I use my left hand now, Your Grace. Makes for more of a contest.
Sir Jaime Lannister, knighted and named to the Kingsguard in his 16th year. at the sack of King's Landing, murdered his king, Aerys II.
Thank the gods you're here, Stark. About time we had some stern northern leadership.
Glad to see you're protecting the throne.
Steady old thing. How many king's asses have polished it, I wonder? And what's the line? The king shits and the hand wipes.
Very handsome armor.
How's the look? Seen it for 17 years and face after face. You all despise me.
Pardoned by Robert Baratheon. Thereafter known as the Kingslayer.
Kingslayer. Oathbreaker. Man without honor.
It's the duty of the Lord Commander to fill those pages. And there's still room left in mine.
You heard of wildfire?
Of course.
The Mad King was obsessed with it. He loved to watch people burn. The way their skin blackened, blistered, and melted off their bones. He burned lords he didn't like. He burned hands who disobeyed him. He burned anyone who was against him. Before long, half the country was against him.
Must be strange for you, coming into this room. I was standing right here when it happened. It was very brave, your brother, and your father too. They didn't deserve to die like that. Nobody deserves to die like that.
But you just stood there and watched.
500 men just stood there and watched. All the great knights of the Seven Kingdoms. You think anyone said a word, lifted a finger? No, Lord Stark. 500 men, and this room was silent as a crypt. Except for the screams, of course. And the Mad King laughing. And later, when I watched the Mad King die, I remembered him laughing as your father burned. It felt like justice.
Is that what you tell yourself at night? You're a servant of justice. That you were avenging my father when you shoved your sword in Aerys Targaryen's back.
Tell me, if I stabbed the Mad King in the belly instead of the back, would you admire me more?
You served him well. When serving was safe.
Valyrian steel.
It's yours.
I can't accept.
It was reforged from Ned Stark's sword. You'll use it to defend Ned Stark's daughter. You swore an oath to return the Starkos to their mother. Lady Stark's dead. Arya's probably dead too, but there's still a chance to find Sansa and get her somewhere safe. I've got something else for you.
I'll find her. For Lady Catelyn. And for you.
Finally, the day of reckoning came. Robert Baratheon marched in the capital after his victory at the Trident. But my father arrived first. The whole Lannister army at his back, promising to defend the city against the rebels. I knew my father better than that. He's never been one to pick the losing side. told the Mad King as much. I urged him to surrender peacefully. But the king didn't listen to me. He didn't listen to Varys, who tried to warn him. But he did listen to Grand Maester Pycelle, that grey sunken cunt. You can trust the Lannisters, he said. The Lannisters have always been true friends of the crown. So, we opened the gates and my father sacked the city. Once again, I came to the king, begging him to surrender. He told me to bring him my father's head. Then he turned to his pyromancer. Burn them all, he said. Burn them in their homes, burn them in their beds. Tell me if your precious Renly commanded you to kill your own father and stand by while thousands of men, women, and children burned alive, would you have done it? Would you have kept your oath then? First, I killed the pyromancer, and then, when the king turned to flee, I drove my sword into his back. Burn them all, he kept saying. Burn them all. I don't think he expected to die. He meant to burn with the rest of us and rise again. Reborn as a dragon, turn his enemies to ash. I slit his throat to make sure that didn't happen. That's where Ned Stark found me.
If this is true, why didn't you tell anyone? Why didn't you tell Lord Stark?
Stark? You think the Honorable Ned Stark wanted to hear my side? He judged me guilty the moment he set eyes on me. By what right does the wolf judge the lion? By what right?
The Kingslayer!
Jaime. My name's Jaime.
I almost forgot. I have one more gift. They say the best swords have names. Any ideas?
Oathkeeper. Goodbye, Sir Jaime.
How do you want to go?
In the arms of the woman I love.
She want the same thing?
By what right?
The Kingslayer!
Jaime. My name's Jaime.
He saw us.
It's all right, it's all right, it's all right.
He saw us!
I heard you the first time. The things I do for love. Strange thing, first time we cut him out. Realize we're nothing but sacks of meat, blood, and
some bone to keep it all standing. Let me thank you ahead of time for guarding us all from the perils beyond the wall, wildlings and white walkers and whatnot.
Defeating the Night King's probably sitting on some dusty shelf somewhere, completely ignored. But that's all right, isn't it?
All boys dream of becoming knights. The boys with talent dream of becoming Kingsguard. The boys without talent, well, I wouldn't know. I remember the day the Lord Commander wrote my name down in the White Book, the official record of the Kingsguard. At 16, the youngest member ever to join. Knighted by Sir Arthur and Sir Barristan for valor against the Kingswood Brotherhood. An outlaw had decided to try his luck against a lowly squire. He wasn't using his head, so I took it off him. Shortly afterwards, King Arya II, who hadn't yet earned the title of the Mad King, took me into his service. If I have ever been happy, it was that day. For centuries, the Kingsguard had been the glory of the realm. Aegon the Conqueror had established the Order as his personal guardians after uniting Westeros with fire and blood. He knew that some of his subjects wouldn't take to conquest, and his dragons were no use against knives in the dark. No doubt surrounding himself with the greatest knights in Westeros made his rule more palatable and less foreign as well. Everyone in his kingdom soon knew the names and sung the songs of the Kingsguard. I certainly did from my earliest days. Lord Commander Gerald Hightower, the White Bull. Arthur Dayne, the Sword of the Morning. Barristan Selmy, the Bold. Prince Lewin Martell. Oswald Went, Jonathan Derry, and, soon enough, the boy prodigy, me. We protected the king and his family. We killed his enemies and led his armies. We gave him counsel when asked and kept his secrets when not. We swore to hold no lands, take no wives, and father no children, like the Night's Watch. Except with a real job to do.